Hey everybody, Dr. John Michael Salvato, your organic living and peak performance coach, and this is Mindshift Mastery. We're on day 45 of our 200-day journey to making a single change every single day in our mindset and shifting some of our daily activities to improve the results in our business and in the rest of our lives. And today our topic is maximizing the effect of the herd, the impact of the herd effect. And what that is, that's a phrase that was first used, or I first became aware of in Tom Freese's question-based selling seminars. And he talks about the herd effect. And what I want to do is kind of just, frame the herd effect in a way that we actually understand the impact and the background. I'm getting some feedback here. Let me go ahead and mute that out. Okay. So here's what the herd effect is. If you picture driving down a country road and you see a herd of cattle, and they all seem to be moving in the same direction, toward a greener pasture, toward a feeding ground, maybe toward water. That's the concept that inspired Freese's term, or coining of the term, of the herd effect. So what we need to do first is we need to understand traditional sales and the traditional mindset. And the traditional sales mindset has always been that when you're pitching a prospect, that you want to use references, you want to use social proof, you want to use, you want to be able to tell that person so-and-so is one of my customers, and that's why you should become one of my customers. Well, there's a problem with that, and I want you to think about it from the perspective of your prospects themselves. If somebody comes to you and they start pitching you on a business opportunity or a program or anything really, any product they're trying to sell you, and they say, I'd like to show you a list of some of our satisfied customers, and you show them testimonials. Or they show you testimonials. What's the first thing that goes through your mind? The first thing that goes through my mind is that those testimonials are invalid, simply from the fact, not that there's not people that are happy, not that they don't have satisfied customers, but what are they going to show you? They're going to show you the satisfied customers, but what about the unsatisfied customers? Who's going to show you a list of the people who complain or don't like their product? Nobody. So then it becomes a moot point to say that so-and-so bought this product, therefore you should buy this product. That's not a good reason or just rationale for wanting to do business. So here's what you've got to do is that the mind shift was that people don't like being told you should buy because so-and-so bought, because that's a push approach. These are all my customers who thought this was a great product, and you should do it too. And you're pushing them into something. So what did we talk about in our last session? We talked about before the day before the Inner Alchemy program, we talked about that mismatch. So, so-and-so bought these products, therefore you should. That client, that prospect is going to want to mismatch naturally. There's an instinct that's going to take over, and they're going to push back because you're pushing them. So the herd approach is a shift in your paradigm, and it's a shift in your approach. The herd approach is pull technology. So, and it's very simple. But it's powerful. The way that the herd approach works is, imagine that group of cows were going across the pasture, and you went out and walked into the middle of that herd, and suddenly there was, by some magical happenstance, one of the cows there spoke English. And you said to that cow, why are you guys going in this direction? That cow is going to respond because everybody else is going in that direction. And that's what the herd approach is. So what you want to do is that you want to inspire in your prospect that they don't want to be left out, that there's reason for them to want to go in that direction because they want to be part of the group. There's safety in numbers. There's good. That's where the idea of showing the prospect your testimonials, showing them your client list really came from. The problem was that was pushing the client, and they're going to push back. But in a pull situation, the way that you position yourself is that you say, would you like to know why so many people are so happy with this product? Would you like to know why so many people get excited about using this approach? Would you like to know why so many people are excited when they join our team? And see, now what you just did was inspire curiosity in that person. You let them understand that so many other people are doing this, therefore they don't want to be left out. But now the ball is in their court, and you've done it with a question. You've asked them a valid question that they're going to want to respond in the affirmative. Yeah, sure, I'd like to know why. Why? Because remember last week we talked about that conversations are all about adding value. And so if you want to add value to that conversation, you have to bring more information to the table. Now you've just asked that prospect, would you like more information? Can I add more value? Do I have your permission to share with you the reasons why people like this? Of course they're going to say yes. It's a really simple approach, and it really almost sounds like common sense, but so many of us have never done that before. So if you look on my Facebook wall today, you'll see some examples of how, and it's been driving me nuts because I knew that today was on the curriculum. And so for the last couple of weeks, there's a program that we've been using that some friends of mine started, and we've been using it as a crowdfunding platform to be able to help the folks who we originally set up this Mindshift program to help. As many of you know, some of the less scrupulous individuals who were members of the original group here, who were the original participants, are off doing their latest shiny object, and they backed out of their commitment to help these people. And so what that means is, while it hurts them to not be part of the program, it hurts the couple that we're trying to support, because now when August 15th gets here, all of those folks who owed an additional $99 have backed out of their commitment. And so that money that I was counting on giving them at that point, wasn't going to be able to be paid. And there's only so much that I can do out of my own pocket. So I started looking at some options, and this crowdfunding platform made a lot of sense. So today I decided that I would use this as a tool, as an example of how well this works. And so for the last week, I've been wanting to tell folks, don't sweat it, because I know a couple of you have expressed some concern that you feel badly that we're not able to help them anymore, and that the group isn't growing. And I just want you guys not to worry anymore, because we started using this about 8 weeks ago, and it's really making a huge difference in being able to help them. It's making a huge difference in being able to do some other charitable things that we want to do. And it's making a huge difference in my personal finances, because the side benefit of it was I didn't expect it to do as much as it's doing. So today, look at my Facebook wall. You'll see an example, 2 examples on there, in fact, of how to phrase your questions so that you're pulling clients, you're pulling prospects, you're making them want to be part of that herd. And you'll be able to see some great examples. I did it across all my platforms, so whether you follow me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anything else, you'll be able to see an example there. So that's how the herd effect works, and that's the sort of question, the shift in your mindset today, is that you want to remember that the sales process, like any other relationship, is about bringing value. And we bring value by bringing more information. So it's about, asking that person permission to share information with them, and asking them if they're interested in more information. And in doing so, you're pulling them into that conversation. You're not pulling them into a sale. They're going to make that decision to buy your product on their own or not. But you're saying, hey, do you want to find out why everybody else is doing this? And they're gonna have that sense of, I don't want to be left out if there's good information here. If there's a good reason for me to want to try this product, if there's a good reason for me to want to be involved in this program or in this group or in this movement or whatever it happens to be you're talking about, then if there's a good reason, people want to join. If there's not a good reason, they won't. So you certainly have to do your homework and make sure that there is a good reason, but you also want to give them the opportunity then to start asking those questions and finding out more about their needs. So I think that the really cool thing is that while this is new material in the curriculum that I only decided a couple weeks ago we were going to add, I think that it fits really well at this point with what we've been talking about in the other mind shifts and all of the things that led up to this part of the curriculum. So I'm not sure why Ita wasn't able to get in today, but we've got, let's see, I don't know what that message was. Let me go ahead and unlock, open your thing, Jennifer, and give us some feedback. I don't know if you got to see the post on Facebook yet, but that pretty much, this was such a simple mind shift that it was pretty easy to explain in a couple minutes. Let's see, turn your volume up.
I was able to see it. Hi.
Hey.
I was able to see it, and I think I actually shared it because I love the crowdsourcing and the crowdfunding and everything like that. It's such an amazing, I mean, there's so much possibility behind it. It's wonderful, and I love everything about it. With the mind shift, this is actually something I've been reading about with writing. You don't want to tell people, you want to tell them why. It's not enough to sit and tell someone ABC. Now, why is it? It's easy to say 50% of males are narcissistic. Go in and figure out why. Are they abused as kids? Are they just, is there a chemical imbalance? You have to go into that before you can sit and go, okay, now you got to get away from it. Why do you have to get away from it? And you just keep that cycle going, and it's, you have to have the why in there.
Absolutely. And I have to just mute you in between sessions because I'm getting an echo back. So give me a second to turn your volume back up in between. And yeah, I think that's a really great example is engaged writing, because if you're just telling people, just giving them dry statistics, telling them 50% of males are narcissistic, the other 50% are slobs, then all you're doing is telling them, just basic information that will come off as your opinion, because we talked in an earlier session that everything you hear is 90% opinion, 10% fact. But when you say, let me share why I believe this is true, now there's engagement there. Now there's even when you don't say, what are your thoughts? Although I always recommend that writers ask for that engagement. Even if you don't ask for the engagement, though, you've just shared your reasoning why, your rationale, and there's an implied invitation there for them to respond to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be necessarily posting a blog about that topic. If you'd be writing a book if you didn't want engagement back. So it's really important, if we could just approach our businesses and looking at what we post on social media the same way that writers approach everything that we do as writers. See, for a writer, we recognize that social media is an extension of our blog. We recognize that video platforms are an extension of our blog, that everything fits sort of in an integrated manner. And if we don't think that, then it's time for writers to really start to approach their writing that way, to recognize that our product we bring to the marketplace is just like everyone else, ourselves. And so everything should fit synergistically with every other component. Well, if we do that with our businesses, then we recognize every platform that we engage on is another opportunity for us to increase that level of engagement, to build those relationships, and for a salesperson, that's going to make you a better salesperson, because you're going to start to hear those questions, and the next time you talk to somebody, you already know what some of the questions are that are going through the prospect's mind. As a writer, that when somebody engages with you, now it spurs more deeper thought on your own in your own journey, so that as a writer now you're able to integrate more of what other people are thinking, and the more you do that, the more engaged people want to be with you, and the better a writer you become, and the broader your appeal is with your targeted market, because now you know what some of those questions are that people are thinking, what some of those ideas that they're thinking, what some of the topics that you might want to write about, in a in a future session. Or a future blog post or things like that. So I hope that for folks that are watching this on the replay, and I just want you to know that for Ita's sake today, when I was picking my coffee mug, I thought we would change the venue a little bit, change the scenery. But I want you to see I got my Clover on here for you. It's actually my neighbor's coffee mug, and she's Irish, and she's actually on her way to a conference of the Hibernian ladies or something like that. I have no idea what that's all about, but I know it's Irish, and you probably know what it is, Ita. So that was for you. Jen, I'm so glad that you're back, and so glad you had some Italian ice and pretzels and cheesesteaks, and I just wish I was able to get out there to Philly. It would be a good excuse to get out there and just gorge myself. But anything else that you want to add, Jen, as we get ready to wrap up? Any other thoughts? Anything that? Thanks for sharing that, by the way, because I'm really excited about that platform. I've been looking for months for a way to be able to support people who may not be in network marketing, but they're trying to get a business going. To find a way to support people who are in network marketing and realize that they have to do better advertising. They have to do things that cost money, and they just don't have the money. And I didn't want to create an affiliate program with this training, because ultimately I want this training to be available to people for free. And so we've created this this little booklet, and the booklet walks people through 3 steps that they can follow by getting involved with FutureNet. I'm going to teach them how to use FutureNet to increase engagement and increase the number of relationships they cultivate, how to use the crowdsourcing platform to generate income for themselves, or if they don't need the income for themselves, to do what I'm doing by using it as a fundraiser for charitable works, and then how to plug in finally to this Mindshift program, so that we can really start to help people on a daily basis to make those little changes in their lives that empower them. So anything you want to add, Jen? Any other thoughts or questions?
Just always think in the back of your mind when you're talking to somebody, why should they care? Why is what you're thinking important to them? Why should they ask you more? Yeah, I always see those commercials on the TV. Ask your doctor if blah, blah, blah is right for you. Why? Why should I ask him? That kind of thing. Just always ask, how can I make this more interesting, more of use, more of value for them? And I think that would actually help a lot of people.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much, Jen. Thank you. It was like having a guest appearance on the show today. I really appreciate that. It's always great to hear from you, and welcome back. And for everybody who's watching this on the replay, I know Deb is on her way driving home. Diana is on her way down to see her. Actually, she's down there looking at possibly her new home in Florida. And Tommy is probably in school today. So for all of you guys too, I hope this has been valuable for you. I hope you find ways to plug this into what you're doing on a daily basis. And we'll look forward to seeing your comments on the blog. And if you aren't doing so already, I really do recommend that you go ahead and follow Jen on her blog as well. And maybe on today's comments on the blog, you can go ahead, Jen, and put a link. I don't know if the blogging platform allows you to put links to your blog, but if you don't put the HTTP, maybe you can just put the blog part of the address in there, and folks can go check out Trainwreck Mom, because I think it's a great blog. I think it's a great way for you guys to see some examples of this kind of process of engagement. And what Jen means when she says you've got to give them a reason why they want that information. Why do they care? What's in it for them? What are the underlying reasons for them to want to come back tomorrow and read what you're posting again? And remember, you don't have to be a blogger to find that useful, because every time you post on Facebook or on Twitter or on Pinterest or Instagram, you're microblogging. You're creating tiny little blogs, little soundbite blogs, if you will, that should give everybody a reason to want to check your information out tomorrow. And so, keep that in mind, because while it might seem that I really don't care whether people like my blog, because I'm not interested in doing mass appeal. I do care about the people that I want to engage with. So yes, some of the stuff I post out there is pretty radical. Some of the stuff I post out there are ideas that really push people's buttons and really make them think, but they're the people I want to engage with on a daily basis. So even when it looks like, hey, he doesn't really care what anybody thinks, he'll just post whatever's on his mind and have at it. And there was a time I used to think that that's what that meant was, I really don't give a shit if you like what I post or not. It's my wall. I post what I want. But as I stopped to look at that, it was really about making the folks that I want to engage with want to come back tomorrow, giving them a good enough reason to want to come back and read my post next time, so that they're hopefully the next time maybe they feel comfortable jumping in and commenting on the things that I post. That's the same process that takes place in sales, that takes place when you're blogging, that takes place when you're trying to establish a relationship with somebody. That's the process. And you can use those questions and the herd mentality to really make a big difference. We've got somebody jumping in. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's Ita. We'll stay on for a couple more minutes and say hello. Are you there, Ita? Okay, perhaps not. Guys, it's been wonderful spending time with you, even for those 30 seconds, Ita. Jen, thanks again. Guys, I hope this has been valuable for you, and we'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow.